Hi everyone, my name's Antony Cummins and welcome to this video. Now today I want to talk to you about the twisted mind of the ninja. Now what do I mean by this? Well, before I go into it, first of all I'd like to say where my information is coming from. All the information in this video is from my new and upcoming book, which is here. You can get the details of it in the links below. Now, originally we published the Shinobi Hiden manual with the 100 ninja poems, but also with the Gunpo Gyoshu by Ogasawara. Now I think everybody understands and everybody agrees that the Gunpo Gyoshu is one of the best ninja manuals, one of the best, almost solid baselines we have in ninjutsu. Now, however, what a lot of people don't realise is that while that's a massive document and we only took a small section of it, he actually did more than that document. He wrote a few more, and one of them I have gone through with Yoshie, my translation partner, and we've pulled out all the Shinobi extracts. So in the new upcoming book we have got the second lot of Shinobi from Ogasawara. So it's excellent news because what he writes is vastly important. Why is it important? Because one, he's a samurai who is not a shinobi. He's talking from an external perspective. He is Sengoku period warrior, without doubt, a fighting Sengoku period warrior who then writes down his memoirs in the Edo period. And so basically that means he was around at the time when real shinobi were really active, and of course before they all died out he was in their generation. He was there when they were doing it. And lastly, he was pretty much really quite high ranking in the sense with Tokugawa Ieyasu, and he showed Tokugawa Ieyasu his works. Now of course this is one of them, and what I want to do today is let you know that the entire shinobi sections are in the new book, but I want to pull out for you the twisted mind of the ninja. Now what we've got to realise is that, remember we spoke about that originally, before I came along, most people thought that ninja were just peasants. And then after I came along and I started harping on about them being part of the samurai class as well, it sort of went too far where only ninja are samurai. Like, no guys, there's this central line. Some shinobi are samurai, some are ashigaru, and some are, you know, this half samurai sort of idea. But what we have never found is the average like farmer guy, you know, with, you know, waking up in the morning, sowing his spuds and everything and milking the old cows, which is not what they do in Japan. But, you know, and then going to be a ninja. That's a bit later on we find that. So what we've got to remember is that there are samurai shinobi and there are ashigaru shinobi. But ashigaru are not at the bottom of the social ladder. They're not paupers with a bamboo spear, you know what I mean? We do have that type of warrior, but ashigaru do not always come under that. So anyway, what I mean is that shinobi have this idea that there's a twisted mind. The Japanese saw the shinobi as evil and twisted and bent out of shape because samurai culture is based on loyalty. And while of course loyalty is not always there, the idea is that a samurai should be loyal. So how is this contended with when you've got samurai doing ninjutsu and samurai acting as shinobis? And you've also got, you know, normal sort of ashigaru level people acting as shinobis who of course should have loyalty as well. So what do they have to say about this? So what I'm going to do is take you through some of the points. So he says that a bushi should not fall into an evil mind. So the idea is that you've got power and you can become corrupted by power. But what he says is, he says, this goes for those who have shinobi training. So he's saying any bushi, any samurai with shinobi training should be very careful that their mind doesn't come corrupted, because you get more power than other people. People who constantly investigate the way of the ninja and deep deceptive tactics think differently. You just think differently. Because I have to do this 24/7, it changes everything, the way your mind works. You have to be careful you don't go down the wrong route. So Ogasawara is saying that don't let your mind be twisted as a samurai by training in shinobi arts, because ninjutsu or shinobi no jutsu is malefic, it's horrible, it's bent, it's cruel, it's distorted, it's not good. You have to have a central core that is still bushi, it's still correct. So what was interesting here is he says that when you're studying the path of the shinobi, you've got this idea, you're a master of the shinobi, it's beneficial to study the path of the samurai. So for you and me, that's Bushido, basically. Study the path of Bu, the path of the samurai. So he's saying that, if you constantly study shinobi no jutsu and you use it for your ill intent, it does have a bit of religious overtones. It says that you'll be, defeated by the gods and everything, or, your luck will change. But what he's saying is that if you study ninjutsu, then you must study Bushido as well, and you must do them hand in hand to keep straight. Now remember, back to Stephen Nojiri's book and the Fukushima Ryu, it's called a Sacred Conspiracy. That scroll also states that you should have a correct mind, absolutely, and one of the main sections is about correct mind. Of course, in my new book, we've got the translation of the Fukushima Ryu document in there as well, but the point is that it's really interesting that ninjutsu and Bushido should go hand in hand. But of course, be careful of that, but it's saying keep a straight mind. He also says that a samurai should study many, many arts, and that it is good for a samurai to study the ways of the shinobi, the ways of infiltration, of espionage and things like that, which of course was very much an Ika-Koka thing. We know full well that shinobi existed in other places, and I know, the people out there know that shinobi didn't always come from Ika and Koga, but we have to remember that most of them did, or that the best did, or that the most respected did. So while many samurai walking about that daily business would know that the samurai of Ika and Koga, or the men of Ika and Koga, were the shinobi people, he is saying that it's good for normal samurai to even put it in their lives as well, because it benefits you to stop from other shinobi infiltrating you on revenge attacks, things like that. It's basically beneficial to know many things, ninjutsu being one of them. Now he says that Bushi should put a high price on loyalty over disgrace. So he's saying that even if you have to face disgrace, if it's done for loyalty, it's good. But the problem is that samurai don't want to give up their honour too easily. They are quite, proud people. So the idea of giving up your honour and going into disgrace is horrific for samurai. And he's saying this is a conflict that many of the samurai who do shinobi have. He says that those people who do it permanently don't seem to mind so much because it's their job. They're brought up doing that. And I think he's referring to Ika and Koga people. That's their job. But what he's saying is that those who are brought in as temporary shinobi, those samurai who are sent on shinobi missions, but it's not their permanent task, he says you have to accept disgrace. Disgrace is just part of being a shinobi. Humiliation. Remember, Natori from Natori states that you should actually be careful of your... I'm going to correct myself. The annotations, the kuden from Natori, not Natori himself, but the kuden from one of the students states that when you're hiring servants, you should watch them, because spies are sent often as servants, and spies, and it physically says this, guys, spies are samurai. Samurai do the spying, and because they are not brought up low class, they will give themselves away if you watch them carefully, because they don't do low class things. Like, can you imagine eating with the wrong spoon or the wrong knife in a Western society, or not pronouncing the French correctly if you order from a posh restaurant? These things clearly show up somebody from a non high level society, and he's saying that's it. Just watch those common people. In Natori it says samurai spy, that's a spy. So back to Ogasawara. Ogasawara is saying that where are we? So Ogasawara is saying that when you're a temporary shinobi, you have to be careful, because you have to do things that disgrace you, and it will samurai hate that. So overall, what do we have? This idea that there is a line between samurai and other people, and shinobi crosses that line. It is not a social position, it is a physical military task, or a task given to you by the Lord, which of course means it's military. So what he's saying here is that when you're a samurai and you're doing ninjutsu, if you're constantly inside of the mind of a shinobi, if you're constantly inside there, you're going to get warped and bent. And he even says shinobi and vicious plans or evil tactics, you're going to be bent out of shape. So you've got to take a step back and keep a moral compass going. Study Bushido alongside ninjutsu. So be careful there, guys, because if you keep going deep enough, you will bend and twist. Right, the new book is out in June, July. It's on pre-order now. That is 2015, so now it's 2015. If you're watching this after 2015, the book is already out and you can get it in all bookshops, no problem. So I hope you enjoy the book. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing some of your comments on the text itself, and hopefully it'll open up a bit more of the ninja world.